I'm John Sarmiento. I am a sustainable agriculture practitioner. We call that agroecology. My practice is the integrated diversified organic farming system. I am from the Philippines.
Can you tell us what the impacts of climate change are in your country?
Every day we are facing a lot of challenges and climate change. And different parts of the province, there's a lot of floods. Different parts of the country, there's a lot of drought. And recently, we experienced the strongest typhoon. Yes, the Typhoon Yolanda that wiped out all our livelihoods and permanent structures and crop, and just 4 hours. And there's also issue of salination. The coming of salt water intrusion to our rice fields. In my farm, I experience this kind of a lot of rain sometimes, and sometimes there's no rain, and the declining of crops of harvest.
So, what are the outcomes that you would like to see from COP21?
I would like to, in the text, I have something to say in the text. I know agriculture is a sensitive issue, and I know it is a political issue, and that there's a lot of parties that they might be secure or depend their own agricultural systems or their own agricultural economy. But for me, we are not talking here for individual country. That's my sentiment now. I didn't see anything in the draft resolving problems in agriculture. And agriculture is one of the major solutions. But because of political, from the development countries and the financial institution and the poor countries, they are neglecting agriculture as one of the major solutions, and sometimes blaming the victims. We are victims, and they're blaming agriculture as one of the major culprits in climate change. And politically, who introduced chemical farming, and who is doing chemical farming? A smallholder like us, they introduced chemical farming in the Philippines, the Green Revolution, and changing the landscape of farming in the Philippines. We lost our biodiversity, our agricultural biodiversity, because this chemical farming introduced by the multinational corporations and the first world countries. And now they are telling that food security. What is food security? What they're in their mind, the food security. And I expected this conference, they have a drastic, or a big move. 20 years from now, I want to put the transition, the agricultural transition from chemical farming, from the baseline that we have, going to agroecology. But I understand also that they are so sensitive in agroecology. They didn't want to put that even in my country. The negotiators in my country, they said, sometimes there's a problem in putting this in the text because there are sensitive issues, political issues in agriculture. And for me, I don't care. As a farmer, I don't know how to beat this 1.5 if you don't teach farmer, if you don't reach farmer, smallholder farmer. We are contributors. Unintendedly, we are contributors because multinational corporations intentionally put this technology in our farms. This is I'm happy because people are meeting her, and there's a mode of some like caring in the environment. But how we can translate this as a whole word, no? Especially in agriculture. And the next 20 years, I want to see my children in their mind, in the textbook, in the media, in packaging of foods, and all these things. I want to see the culture of agriculture based on ecology. And that's what I'm expecting in this conference, the COP21 conference. And this, I don't know what to say, but you know, it's more political. It's more political. And yesterday, one of the African farmers, we are sharing our ideas. We lost the soul of the conference because who are they? The parties. They are not farmers. The parties. And they said 2 to 3 years from now there are a workshop and we put agriculture in the text to exercise what in the text in this conference. But this is crucial. The message of COP21, the message of the first century. And I'm praying that we have 2 days more. It's good that they put food security and ecosystem in the text, in the preamble, and that's good. But how do you translate this? What is the message of this? What is the pledge of this conference? We can say, I believe that if we have a strong policy, structure follow. Structure follow. So that's my sentiment in the. I don't know what to go as a farmer. There's a lot of side events, but you know, as a farmer dealing this everyday work in the farm, I understand the politics behind agriculture, but the moral issue, the moral issue. I think there's no technical solution in this if they didn't change their attitude. Yes.
So what could AFA do to help you achieve the results that you're looking for?
Yeah, IFAD continue to fund to reach a smallholder farmer, and I believe a smallholder farmer can change the landscape of the agriculture. What we are doing with other development projects in the Philippines, with support from different institutions. AFA leading in the Southeast Asia, and Pakisama, we are leading in agroecology in our farms. But the challenge is, climate change is always a challenge. And one major consideration and challenge is the human rights issue, the social issues. And in the COP21, there's no text on human rights about a land issue. And you cannot combat climate change if there's no power in the farmer sector. We have no lands. Most of the farmers are smallholder and they have no lands. No, where we put this in this conference? We understand the climate change and human rights. The IP communities, they are also farmer, but it's not a sectoral issue in the conference. The issue of mining is the issue of ancestral domain, the sacred forest. This is all these things, and especially the fisher folks, the small fisher folks. I am happy that there's a gender issue in the climate change, but they are all farmers. How can we translate that? So that's the point. IFAD, I believe that if you reach in the next 20 years, invest more on developing agroecology farms. Our challenge is the agri-financing. No one trusts us, especially the financial institution. In Yolanda, in the high-end rehabilitation, I handled a project in high-end rehabilitation, 1,500 family farming. And we use agroecology as a tool for rehabilitation and the impact of climate change. We do farm planning. And after the farm planning, what? We need money, we need capital, we need inputs to develop windbreak, to develop rainwater catchment, to develop food bank, seed bank. And where's the climate financing? That's why we are crying for climate justice. That's the transition of loss and damage. If you put this in the context of this conference, this institution, this financial institution, through development organization like IFAD, they can translate it directly to the community. Because sometimes what we observe as a farmer sector, they put money government to government, and after that, I don't know what happened. No, it's not translated in the community. So if that's in the next 20 years, in the next 30 years, if we can do this culture, trust the farmer, no, not only for if we didn't like the word mitigation because of politics, okay, we use adaptation, no, agroecology is an adaptation solution to climate change. And we believe, because that is my experience. I developed my farm just in 1998. In 1995, I read a book regarding this climate change, and I'm so afraid. I'm aware what happened in the next 20 years. I developed my farm. I put windbreaks. I plant a lot of trees for food, for firewood, and dig some canal, develop as a fish farming, and redesigning a farm. That's the key word. Redesigning the farm. And I think IFAD can use this kind of technology, farm redesigning, and agroecology manner, and put some capacity building and financing and harvesting of indigenous knowledge. Because it's agroecology is location specific, cultural specific. I understand that as a farmer, and then cultivate the farmer to farmer transfer of technology. No? Don't so much rely on the and the technology that developed inside the room. No? Because climate change, every day is changing climate. Every day, in my experience. I put my seeds in a good situation. Tomorrow is wiped out because we don't know tomorrow is rain. And even the technology, the science cannot predict how much. You have instrument, but sometimes it failed. So that's farmer like me. We are combating climate change every day. The smallholder farmer, we are struggling every day. And if IPAD consolidate this effort and support the effort on agroecology, that's what in this conference I always say, no, agroecology now or never. You can, it's not or. No? We choose between agroecology in the next 20 years or never. No? Or never.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.